Now we can say, well, can't God just eliminate, sin? Can't he just say, okay, it's gone? Okay. Say he did it. Say he said 12 o'clock tonight, all sin, all evil is going to be gone. The problem is our hearts are also connected to sin. And so if he does that, he judges sin, then we get judged too. And so, and cast away, and as sin is judged. So the whole point is to get saved now and to get separated from that. And if there's a way that could happen, ultimately he is absolutely good. And so it's not a matter of saying, well, I'm not as bad as this person, or I'm not as bad. It doesn't matter. One ounce of evil is enough to separate you infinitely from that which is infinitely good. I mean, how the distance is infinite between that which is infinitely good and that which is not. There's an infinite gap. And that's a problem there. So God cannot, if he is good and he is loving, he cannot say, hey, well, this is good. Nazism is good. Hatred is good. Persecution is good. Adultery is good. All these things. He cannot. That has to be cleansed. That has to be gone, taken out. But he doesn't want, he wants you to remain. Sin will be forever separated. It has to be. And evil will forever be judged. It has to be. And that's what we call hell. But God made your spirit to be eternal, to know him and to be with him. It will be somewhere 1,000 years from now. And that is the ultimate issue of destiny, your destiny. The fact that we can even have a choice regarding heaven is a gift, which I'm going to talk about. But the fact is that in that choice is left to you. He cannot choose for you. You have to respond and choose either for or against. It's one way or the other. If you turn away, that's choosing against. If you ignore, that's choosing against. But to say yes, there's one way, and that's to receive it. Now, I said if there's an infinite separation between God and us, how can you ever fill an infinite separation? How can you ever bridge that gap? Well, think about it. Only he who is infinite and infinitely good can bridge the gap of an infinite separation. Only God himself. Only God himself. It's written that his will is that none would perish. It's not his will. Now remember the picture that we gave. It was the Father. The Father never left the Son. God doesn't leave us. We leave him. But he was there waiting. And when the Son returned, he didn't say, it's about time. Or just throws. He just ran and loved him and kissed him and hugged him. And that's God's love to you. It says even when we were, very much our heart was away from him, our life was away from him, even with our sins that are against him, he still loves us. He still loves you. God is love. And yet love is linked to a price. And here's the point of salvation. What is love? Think about it. Love is when you really, you feel for someone, you put yourself in their place. You transcend yourself. You put yourself in their place. You step into their shoes. Well, if God is love, think about it. What would be the greatest love that we could ever know? The most absolute, cosmic, incredible love that could ever be demonstrated. What would it be? It would be that God put himself in your place. God put himself in our place. The greatest love. And that is what Jesus is all about. That is what this man, Yeshua, this human life is all about. If God is love, and love is to put yourself in the place of another, especially one who needs help, you put yourself, then the greatest love is that God would put himself in our place, in our life, in our shoes, walk in our sandals, walk among us, feel our feelings, live our life, endure our sorrows, know our joys, and to ultimately step into our shoes to pay the price and to bridge the gap for our life. To take our burdens, that's what love does, to take our burdens upon himself. That burden that we spoke about of sin, to take it to himself. The greatest love. The words of this one, Messiah, Jesus, you cannot just hear it and just say, okay, he was a good teacher. That's not enough. He doesn't leave that open. Some people say, oh, he's a great teacher. He was a prophet, or he was this, or he's one of the manifestations of divine. No, that's not enough. He didn't leave that open. He spoke that his life is God coming down here. That makes him either, you could say he's a liar, you can say he's a lunatic, or you can say he's Lord. But you can't just say, oh, he's a nice man, and that's fine, or nice teachings, or this is about the love of God come to your life, not just to the world, but when does it become real? It's when it comes to your life. Even now, you getting this cassette and hearing this now is him reaching out to you. You know, it's amazing. You know, his life is the only life that was prophesied of in detail centuries before. You can find this all in the Hebrew Scriptures, in the Old Testament, which was finished centuries before that he came. It says that Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. That's Micah 5:2, the prophet. It says that he will come to Jerusalem. That's Daniel 9. It gives the exact time mathematically, and that he would die. In Isaiah 53, it says he would die for our sins. It says that he would become a light to the nations in Isaiah. It says that in Zechariah he will come riding on a donkey into Jerusalem. That's in Zechariah 9:9. It says he will be coming again. It speaks about a day when Israel is back in the world and the nations are centered on the controversy of the Middle East. And there's a whole thing to that, which I can't get into now. The fact is, the Bible gives all the evidence, and it's incredible. There is no life like this life. The fact is, not only did he fulfill all those prophecies, exactly what was said, and it's there and you can check it out, but he has become the central figure of human history, and that's exactly what you'd expect him to become. The love of God, God coming into our shoes to touch your life, God coming down that you could come up. How do we get up there? How do we get to a heavenly life? Well, that which is heavenly comes down. Now, turn to the next side, if this is on a two-sided media, and I'll give you the answer and the joy and the good news for your life.